Hello there. Welcome back to our channel. Again, we dive deeper into some of the most underrated and overlooked games in Nintendo's vast library. While Nintendo has produced countless classic titles, there are still many hidden gems that may have slipped under your radar. From quirky puzzle games to unique RPGs, we'll explore some of the best hidden treasures that deserve more recognition. So grab your controller and join us as we unearth some of Nintendo's best-kept secrets. Starting with FightN'Rage. FightN'Rage is an old-school side-scrolling beat-em-up game that draws inspiration from classic arcade games from the Golden Age and features an art style that emulates the aesthetics of 90s arcade gems. The game pays tribute to the timeless gameplay features that made this genre popular in its time. The game can be played solo or in local co-op with up to 3 players. Players can use a variety of skills and tactics to take down enemies, including throwing them or engaging in one-on-one battles against other players or AI opponents. The game also offers different modes, costumes, options, and playable characters that can be unlocked by exploring levels. Next is Umurangi Generation Special Edition. Umurangi Generation is a video game that puts players in the role of a freelance photographer tasked with capturing images of a dystopian world. Set in a near-future version of New Zealand, the game features a vibrant low-poly aesthetic and a unique soundtrack. Players must explore the world and take photos of various subjects, including graffiti, landscapes, and people. Each photo is rated based on composition, subject matter, and other factors. The game also features challenges and secrets to uncover, as well as a variety of tools and camera lenses to unlock and use. Moving on to Beacon Pines. Beacon Pines is a narrative-driven adventure game that follows the story of a young bear named May on a journey to discover the mysteries of the town of Beacon Pines. The game features a charming hand-drawn art style and allows players to make choices that affect the outcome of the story. Players guide May through the town, solving puzzles and interacting with the unique animal inhabitants. The game's story is non-linear, with multiple paths and endings based on the player's choices. Each decision made affects the branching narrative, allowing for a personalized experience. Beacon Pines also features an innovative storybook interface, where players turn the pages of the game like a book to progress the story. The game's unique blend of storytelling and gameplay make for an engaging and memorable experience.
But I do know one thing. This is a story about change.
Next up, Turnip Boy Commits Stacks Evasion. Turnip Boy Commits Stacks Evasion is a video game developed by Snoozy Kazoo and published by Graffiti Games. The game follows the story of Turnip Boy, a turnip who has committed tax evasion and must navigate through a world filled with other vegetables and creatures in order to repay his debt to the mayor. The game is a satirical take on real-life tax evasion and the consequences that come with it. Through Turnip Boy's adventure, players are able to explore various environments, complete quests, and interact with a colourful cast of characters. Moving up to Goblin Sword. In the game, the player takes on the role of a hero who sets out on a quest to retrieve a powerful goblin sword that has been stolen from a peaceful village by an evil wizard. The game features retro-style graphics and a chiptune soundtrack, reminiscent of classic 8-bit platformers, The gameplay consists of exploring levels, defeating enemies, and collecting coins and power-ups. The player can use the coins to purchase new weapons, armor, and items from the in-game store. There are also hidden secrets and treasures to discover throughout the game, which can unlock new levels and challenges. Next is Subsurface Circular. In Subsurface Circular, the player takes on the role of a detective robot known as a Tech, who is investigating a series of disappearances involving other robots on the Subsurface Circular, a mass transit system that runs beneath a futuristic city. The entire game takes place within the confines of the titular subway train, as the player interacts with other robots and gathers information to solve the mystery. The gameplay is driven by dialogue choices, as the player engages in conversations with various characters and can choose different responses to steer the course of the investigation. There are also puzzles to solve and clues to uncover, which can lead to new dialogue options and paths through the story. Subsurface Circular features a unique art style, with simple but striking visuals that emphasize the mechanical nature of the characters and environment. Next is Little Noah, Scion of Paradise. Little Noah Scion of Paradise is a casual roguelite action game where the player controls Noah, an alchemical prodigy, who travels across floating ruins to repair her airship. The game features randomly generated dungeons and recruitable allies called Lilliputs that the player can use to defeat bosses. The player can also repair and upgrade facilities on their airship using collected mana, which gives different boosts. The game allows for customization of the party with over 40 Lilliput options, and the order of the lineup affects the attack combos. If the player gets knocked out, they can use items earned to power up and come back stronger. Next is Banner of the Maid. Banner of the Maid is set in an alternate version of the French Revolution, where the player takes on the role of a young woman named Pauline Bonaparte, who serves as a commander in the French army. The gameplay is similar to other tactical RPGs, featuring turn-based battles on a grid-based battlefield. The player can recruit and train a variety of characters, each with their own unique abilities and specialties. In addition to the battle gameplay, Banner of the Maid also features a story mode with visual novel elements, where the player can make choices that affect the outcome of the game's narrative. The story features historical figures such as Napoleon Bonaparte and Jeanne d'Arc, as well as fictional characters created specifically for the game. Next up is Mutazione. The game takes place in a fictional community of Mutazione, inhabited by mutated plants and creatures, and follows the story of a young girl named Kai, who travels to Mutazione to visit her grandfather. The gameplay focuses on exploration, puzzle solving, and dialogue choices that affect the game's narrative. The player can interact with the inhabitants of Mutazione, each with their own unique stories and personalities. The game features a diverse cast of characters, including humans, mutants, and animals, and explores themes such as loss, grief, and community. The game is praised for its beautiful art style, atmospheric soundtrack, and well-written characters.
Like any other. It's until I got hit on the head.
Moving up to Stick It to the Man. Stick It to the Man's story follows the story of Ray, a hard hat tester who is struck by a mysterious object that gives him the ability to read people's minds and manifest them as physical stickers on the environment. The player must use this ability to solve puzzles and navigate through the game's two-dimensional environments. The game also includes humor and pop culture references, making it an enjoyable experience for players of all ages.
From the creative minds of Zoink Games.
Moving on to the Friends of Ringo Ishikawa. The Friends of Ringo Ishikawa takes place in a small Japanese town and follows the story of Ringo Ishikawa, a high school student and former delinquent who is on the verge of graduation. The gameplay includes activities such as attending classes, hanging out with friends, fighting rival gangs, and participating in various extracurricular activities. The player must balance Ringo's academic and social life while navigating the challenges of being a delinquent in a small town. The game also features a day and night cycle, with different events and activities available depending on the time of day. Moving on to Flynn, Son of Crimson. In this game, players controls Flynn, a young hero who sets out on a quest to save his land from the Scourge, an evil force threatening to destroy everything in its path. As players traverse through various levels, they will encounter a range of obstacles and enemies, and will need to use their platforming skills, combat abilities, and problem-solving skills to overcome them. Along the way, players can upgrade Flynn's abilities and unlock new moves by collecting orbs. Flynn also has a magical companion named Dex who assists him in combat and puzzle solving, adding a unique element to the gameplay.
Do you sometimes feel that everything is just about to happen, while all of it has already been decided?
Moving on to Troop Brook. The game follows the story of Hans Tannhauser, a young American physicist who wins a trip to the small German town of Troop Brook in the 1960s. As Hans explores the town, strange occurrences begin to happen, leading him on a journey to uncover the mysteries of Troop Brook. Players must solve puzzles, interact with a range of unique characters, and explore the game's handcrafted, diorama-like environments to progress through the story.
Like, say, an insubstantial, incorporeal blackness?
Exactly. How do you know that?
I think I've seen.
Moving on to Paradise Killer. Paradise Killer is an open-world mystery game that takes place on an island called Paradise, where a council of immortal beings known as the Syndicate rules over a society of humans and monsters. The game's open-world format allows for non-linear gameplay, giving players the freedom to explore the island and its various locations at their own pace. The game's art style features a blend of bright neon colors and retro-futuristic design, creating a unique and immersive setting.
You are making the wrong decision.
Is paradise worth saving?
Wake up.
Last in our list is Unsighted. Unsighted is an action-adventure game set in a world where robots and humans coexist, but the robots are losing their ability to function due to a lack of a vital energy source. Players control Alma, a young android, who must explore various locations, battle hostile robots, and solve puzzles to collect the energy source known as Anima. The game's combat system includes a mix of melee and ranged attacks, and players can dodge and parry enemy attacks. As they progress through the game, players can upgrade Alma's abilities and weapons to increase her strength and effectiveness in combat. Unsighted has received critical acclaim for its captivating storyline, distinctive gameplay mechanics, and stunning pixel art visuals. Overall, Unsighted is an exceptional action-adventure game with retro-style visuals that is highly recommended for fans of the genre.
Save them before it's too late.
That concludes our episode for the day. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to get the latest game deals and updates. Thank you for tuning in. See you in the next video.